Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you very much indeed for joining our Path to DTM session this evening. I hope it will help those of you on the brink of nearly finishing your DTM to just get it done. And we're here to support you and to answer any questions you might have. And then again, if you know people who are thinking about it, you want to pass on the recording, I will make it available, then please do feel free to do so. And as I said beforehand, before some of you joined, Phil is running one on the 25th of February. So if you'd like to say, oh, well, I attended this, it was really brilliant, but Phil is also running one in 2 weeks' time. And it might just help people. You know what it's like when you know you want to do something, you're not quite sure where to start. That's the sort of way we're trying to help you this evening. So I have a very capable and well experienced panel to help me, and I'd like to invite them to introduce themselves. So, can we start with Elaine? Now, Elaine is suffering a little bit, probably a bit sexy voice there. Have you? So, Elaine, please introduce yourself to the group. Thank you.
Thank you, Janet. So my name's Elaine Kelly. As I don't normally sound like this, but I'll survive through, I think. I got my DTM in September last year, 2025. It took me probably, I think, an elapsed sort of 5, 6 years to achieve. It wasn't something that was always at the forefront. It was just something that, as I gradually progressed, it became apparent that I was kind of on that path. Um, However, for me, I had a little break in the middle, courtesy of COVID, and I'd kind of nearly finished it on the old program, and I just had the club coach piece to do. But the club I was coaching, unfortunately, due to COVID, closed, and therefore, because of COVID, I didn't then pick the whole thing up again. And when I did pick the whole thing up again, I'd missed that cutoff of being able to use the old program. So some elements of it you can carry forward. Um, but the key things for me were that I had to do two complete pathways, and then be a successful club coach. So, I got to a point where I thought I'd done so much, I might as well finish it now. And as annoying it was at the time, I just thought, no, I'm going to continue because everything I'd done before was still valid and could
Mm.
contribute to it. So that's what I did, and I managed to successfully complete it last year. So
Oh,
um, very, very proud of myself. And
oh, rightly too,
the little
Elaine. Well
plaque,
done.
as one of those kind of perseverance, if nothing, as well
Yes.
as the achievements.
Yes, I love that little plaque. I'll show you mine in a minute. So that's wonderful, Elaine. And I think that's the tenacity that we need to show to actually get it done. So congratulations on that. Are you our newest DTM, September 2025, on the call? I think you are, not for,
Possibly.
yeah, well done. So thank you very much. And Elaine is our club coach, sort of expert, I think we would call you. So for your questions later, hopefully Elaine will be able to answer them. And Casper. Now, Casper featured in our D91 newsletter. Was it last month or the previous month?
Think last month.
Yes. So it's fame, notoriety at last, Casper. You've made the
So
At
newsletter.
last. It's taken 10 years of Toastmasters and at last I've made it. So thank you,
So
Janet.
tell us about your journey to DTM, just briefly, what your
Sure.
challenges were, etc.
So I haven't yet made it all the way.
Oh,
I
okay.
think I am on the cusp of attaining my DTM. I've got two aspects left to do, which we can get into a little bit
Mhm.
later on. But for myself, it was a journey which started, I think, 7 years ago when I finished my first pathway. And then I sort of bummed around in Toastmasters for a little while, refusing to take any responsibility. And then maybe 2 years ago, I decided I've been doing this for enough time now. Maybe I should give this DTM thing a go
Go
and
for it.
start ticking off the various aspects of it. And spoiler warning, I wish I'd started sooner.
Yeah. That's a salutary lesson for those who are thinking about it. You can't start sooner than today. But it's like planting a tree. Should have done it 20 years ago, but do it today. Well done, Casper. So it's coming up then in the next couple of months?
Yes, I'm hoping that it's done. It should all be done this Toastmasters year.
Fantastic.
Ideally, yeah, ideally by April is what I'm aiming
Well
for.
done. And you, in the meantime, are our D91 mentor lead, aren't you?
That's right. So I'm also here to help other people who'd like to complete their DTM. I've got more mentoring opportunities coming up, which is
Oh,
one of the
good.
prerequisites.
Yes, fantastic. Great. Thank you very much indeed, Casper. And Emmanuel, I think, is probably having difficulties on his mobile at the moment. So, Massimo, let's.
I'm
You.
listening in, but
Oh, you're listening in.
yeah,
Fantastic. Emmanuel, thank you so much.
I'm on the. Okay, go on. Sorry,
No, I was
apologies.
just going to say you had problems with the traffic today.
Yeah.
So, do you introduce yourself?
Okay. First of all, I apologize for this. I'm on the road trying to get to my house in massive traffic, but yeah, strive regardless. My name is Emmanuel Karamagi, and I've been a Toastmaster for 10 years. Elaine, I hate to spoil this for you. I think I'm the newest DTM. Mine came around, I think, November, about there. And the journey for me, I was really pushed, to be honest. I started and sort of thought, nah, I don't really feel this. So a few people around me, my mentors and so forth, were like, you have done everything. You need to just get this done and get over the edge, and that's it. And it's taken me something like maybe 2 years or 2 or 3 years, something like that. My last, really, the last thing that I needed to do to get the DTM done was club mentorship, which I'd done, and then from there on, the project was more or less done, and that's it. And here we are.
Well done, Emmanuel. Thank you very much indeed. Yes, absolutely. And Emmanuel is the D91 Speechcraft lead. So if anybody's got questions on Speechcraft, Emmanuel's your man. Thank you. And in fact, we did a drop in on Speechcraft. So if you are interested, it's on the YouTube channel. So you can pick up the recording from there. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Massimo, on your second DTM. I mean, yeah.
Oh, hi.
Open mouth, Casper. Tell us.
Well, yeah, my name is Massimo Guadagnino, and yeah, it's the way that my DTMs got started was kind of, I was unaware of it. Looking back, I joined Toastmasters in March 2019, so I was immediately on Pathways, and I wasn't really aware about DTM, but the way I understand it now, the moment I gave my icebreaker on the first pass, I was on my DTM. I just didn't know it. And there are certain things that are just going to happen. If we ever want to complete a path, when we complete the first one, well, we only have another one to do. And we might serve as a club officer, which I did. So that was also getting checked off, even though I wasted the first one because I was not involved with the club success plan. I wasn't aware about the club success plan. So there are ways, you can sort of delay your achievement just by being unaware of everything that needs to be done. But the way that I got into my second DTM road, if you like, is that, well, I did club officer role for a few years. So every time I did a club officer role, well, they just stack up. They're ready for the next and the one after that, if you like. And I did the area director role 1 year, and the next year I was interested in doing the division. It wasn't for DTM purposes. I just was interested in doing the role to learn from it and to contribute. So that is now on the list for the next DTM. So it's quite easy to be working on the one and then the other one just starts, a little bit like paths. When you start on a path and then halfway through you take on another path, and it kind of just all happens together. So for me, it was a case of taking the opportunities that came along. Actually, the pandemic and the lockdown was an opportunity for me because I had 2 jobs at the time and I was traveling between Winchester and London. And physically going to different clubs or different events would have been challenging. But because it all went online, that was actually one of the reasons I thought I'd like to do the division director role while we're still in lockdown, because it's going to be difficult afterwards. So looking back, I would say it's I sort of came to a point where I realized, hey, wait a minute, now there is a couple of things and I can just focus on those. And so came the club coach role and, the other things that you can sort of slot in as you go along. And so I got my DTM at the end of the last Toastmaster year, and I got, it got approved in September last year, and it's on the wall behind me.
We can't see it.
No, you can't, unfortunately. I'll have to rip it out, and that will destroy what's holding it up.
Well, if anybody has been on my personal Zoom with me, I have got my DTM on the wall behind me. And I get comments, oh, your bookshelf is so neat and tidy. I said, well, that is a Zoom background. Yes, but you've got your DTM on the plaque behind you. I said, yes, I photoshopped it in. So Massimo, you could always add yours in it. Just Photoshop it in.
The problem is I've got the kitchen behind me, but yes, I can Photoshop it in.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
I'll watch out for the next time. Fantastic. Well, thank you all very much for sharing. And obviously, it's really inspiring to hear what other people can achieve. I'll just quickly go through my road to DTM. And there again, I had joined Toastmasters 2012, 2013. It was only in 2018 that I really clocked there was such a thing as a DTM. I had seen it after people's names, and yes, we had a club coach at Farnham. I didn't really pay much attention to it until Pathways was introduced in 2018. And I read the small print and I did a double take, and it said, if you haven't completed your DTM by June 2020, anything that you have done which would go towards it will be discounted. And I'd already done, I think, my ACB. I didn't know. I was just going on just the next process. And I suddenly thought, oh no, I am not going to waste all of that effort, all of those speeches and all of that training. So I hauled out the old spreadsheet. I thought, right, I've got to complete it. I think it was 2020. It was March 2020. So I gave myself that amount of time and I blocked off everything I had to do and I put it on the spreadsheet. It's the only time I've really been diligent about mapping out a project. And that's exactly what I did. I got it in March 2020. And I am so pleased I did get it. And I just wanted to share why, because, and I think Elaine touched on this, I do a lot of the YLP work, the Youth Leadership Program. I'm the YLP champion. And I find that gives me a lot of credibility. When I go into schools and I pitch to the head of year to say, I'd like to do oracy teaching, I'd like to run the Youth Leadership Program, and I say, I have achieved my Distinguished Toastmaster. And to my way of thinking, that gives me the credibility to actually say, yes, I can do it. I am safe to have with your children because I do know what I'm talking about, basically. And also having had that experience, I do feel quite comfortable about talking in front of the pupils. And one of them asked me a table topic the other day. They said, oh, miss, would you do one? I said, for sure, because I won't expect you to do anything that I won't do myself. I was a bit worried about what they were going to ask me, and I can't remember what it was right now. But that's what I did, and that's why I'm very pleased I did it. It was a lot of work, but you just plan it out, and it took me 2 years to get it finished. I'd done quite a lot before then, but it's interesting what you learn along the way. So that was what I just wanted to give a little bit of feedback on what our roles are and what our speciality is for your questions. So now I would like to know from those we haven't heard from. Hi, Martin, you've just joined us. Eddie, Charlene, hi, Ruth. Ruth, have you not gained your DTM yet?
Sadly, no, because I was one of those that allowed somebody else to do it instead of myself. But hey,
Right. So it's on your list, is it?
so, well, I did my advanced communicator bronze and sort of
Yes.
competent communicator and all of that stuff. So I kind of was quite a long way and then had to start from scratch. And in terms of pathways, I've done level 4 in one pathway and just sort of starting another. Haven't really got an
Okay.
idea for a level 5 project. And to be honest, I personally have been a little bit disengaged with the online, and I know it's been there. It's just that I ignore it for months and months and months, and then when I go, I've seen the recent changes and I felt overwhelmed. That's the honest truth.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
we're
I
here.
thought I'd come along here.
Yes.
I have done so many leadership roles. I've probably ticked all
Yes.
of those boxes,
Sure you
but I
have.
need to do more speeches, and it's really challenging when you're approached and asked to do yet more leading, and I need to actually step back and say, no, it's
Mhm.
time for me to do more speeches because I really do want to get my DTM.
Fantastic.
And I've got a bit stuck, if I'm honest, which is why I decided to attend
Perfect.
tonight.
Brilliant. Well, I'm really pleased you had, because maybe we should have an accountability group for those who are actually seriously saying, I'm going to finish it, even just this program. Yeah. Martin, you have a DTM.
I do indeed, and thank you for allowing me to join this august group. I'm not in Harrow on the Hill, which is my background. I'm actually in North Carolina, and
Okay.
I am a division director in District 117.
Right.
I would suggest for anyone who does not have an idea as to what they're going to do for a DTM, try rewriting the YLP book. It is so out of date and it needs complete revision. Excuse me while I shut my dog up. Thank you.
So Martin's obviously speaking with passion there. He's absolutely right. I have actually written my own manual for it, which I can share with anybody who is interested. Thank you very much. Well, he's just popped off to see to his dog. Shirley, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us where you are on your road to DTM?
Hello everyone. I am just here to gather information in order to
Okay.
prepare me for this. I have completed or partway completing level 4, and I wanted to find out a bit more about what's the next step.
hmm
I am a club officer, but I don't think I've done many club officers role,
Okay.
but struggling to get into them.
Oh, okay. You're in the right place,
But I
Shirley.
just wanted to find out a bit more about
Yes, for
going
sure.
forwards. That's all.
Excellent. And
Thank
then
you.
Eddie, have you not got a DTM yet?
No, just
You're like Ruth, you've done all
have
many.
procrastinated on that a long, long time. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're
So
good at managing that
the
procrastination.
the only thing that's holding me back is a DTM project.
Yes, I'm
I've
sure.
I've completed everything. I've ticked all the boxes. Yeah, and I've procrastinated for about
Yes, yeah.
one and a half years or 2 years now, just sitting on
Right.
it. Yeah.
Serious case of procrastination, Eddie. Okay, well, we've got steps to achieve better than that. Well done.
Yeah. So just identifying a project
Yes,
and then just cracking on that, and that's about it. Yeah.
yes. Haven't you done district level projects that would work for DTM?
District level. In fact, I was quite pleased to see some of y'all publishing the incentive claims voucher,
Yes.
right? Because that's what I created. That was a project I created, liaising with the corporate headquarters and introducing the incentive claims voucher for the whole district.
Oh,
It was
okay.
invented by me when I
Wow.
was the district finance manager.
Yes.
So I'm
Okay.
I'm glad to see that it's still operating actually.
Still
Yeah.
operating. Yeah,
Yeah.
very much so. Yes. I don't know how many people claim their incentives, but I send out the emails. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So serious case of procrastination remedy here. Good. We can manage
Mm.
that. Good. Christopher, have you said what you're doing on your DTM pathway yet? I know you have spoken to us. Well, we also got, yes, there you are.
Hang on, sorry, yes. Yeah, I mean, I've almost completed level 5. I had the pathway, wrapping up your pathway project to do, and I've now got a couple of other projects to do. But the main sticking point is the DTM project, and I've
Yes.
decided what to do, and I've started it. But it's having changed job, I've run out of time to actually do it. So now I'm doing less of other things. I'm hoping to find the time.
Yes, and I think it's like Ruth, it's a big thing. Actually, this is something that you really want to do. Say no to other things which are not going to help you get there.
So I mean, one of the things. So Ruth said she'd done lots of leadership roles, and I discovered doing the area director and division director that actually some of the level 4 and level 5 projects sort of matched with the things doing those leadership roles. I forget exactly, so they organised an event, I did as part of as when I was division director, for example. So, it's worth having a looking at those projects, but sort of working out what you need to do and starting early would be
planning it.
But as I say, I'm kind of stuck. And the problem is not that I don't know what to do; it's lack of time and enthusiasm to do it.
Enthusiasm. So I was reckon we've got enough time to do the things we really want to do.
Yeah.
Okay. And Claire, you are accredited speaker, Europe's first accredited speaker and our accredited speaker champion.
Hopefully the first of very many. I hope some of your people will look to do that. Yes, I've got DTM with the badge here, and I've got another DTM with a...
Oh, yes, I got one of those too.
Good, aren't they? Rather nice. And I did my first one in 2020. And that was a surprise to me in the sense that I hadn't really thought about doing DTM like a lot of people here.
Yes.
And the Pathways that was about to be rolled out, and they were asking for Pathways guides.
Yes.
And I thought, that's me. I love doing training. I'll volunteer to do that. Not realizing it was part of, at the time, it was part of the DTM. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. Maybe I can do the other bits as well. And yes, it all fell into place eventually. And I've done one now on the Pathways as well. So I've done my 2 paths and
brilliant
projects and things. So yes, I'm quite pleased to be a double DTM.
Yes. Yes, fantastic. Because I think Phil is also double DTM on the call. Phil,
yes, that's correct.
I hope you're picking up some information for how you can support your group when they come onto their DTM
yes,
training.
well, I'm hoping I can support your group as well, because the intention behind my next session online is to explore the DTM projects and see what opportunities we could offer people and show people how they can actually put the project together. So I actually achieved my first DTM in July 2008, and that was after 5 years of being in Toastmasters. And then I danced with the district director, she was a lady, at the district conference. And I said, what do I do now? And she gave me 3 magic words. She said, do it again. And so I did. So I went through the whole project again, and I achieved my second in April 2014. And then the Pathways came along, and I thought, what I'll do now is I'll do a third one. So I'm heading down the route for a third DTM under the Pathways. So I'm trying to explore the whole range of DTMs, and the key thing that's helped me is helping people achieve DTM, achieve what they want to achieve. And the sessions I've done, they're already online on our D71 website. The sessions I've shown people the route to and the path to DTM. But the next one, which is you said the 25th of March, wasn't it? I think.
No, I thought you said 25th of February.
I'm just testing you to see if you were listening. Yes, the 25th of February. And as soon as I get the details of that, I'll then pass those on to you. But you're
Yeah.
more than welcome to come along. And the intention is, as I said, to just share more ideas about the DTM project and
Yes.
how you can actually put together and things that you've already done, probably.
Exactly. Just accumulating them.
Yes.
And
And my beef with Toastmasters in general is that they don't allow you to open the DTM projects until you have level 3 of your second pathway. And
yes.
somebody mentioned it earlier. As soon as you do your first icebreaker, when you join Toastmasters, that's when you're actually on the path to DTM. So we need to know more about this information. And
Definitely.
I shared with you, I think, Janet, I gave you that DTM
Yes.
information leaflet. So you're more than welcome to share that amongst the group if you want to do that.
Thank you very much indeed.
Lots of links and support in there as well. So
Yes, no, that's fantastic. And I think, I mean, that's possibly a DTM project in itself, isn't it?
I don't know. Yes, I suppose I could have done
Almost
it.
like a self-serving project, isn't
Yes.
it? Encourage members to do their DTM or to find a project for it. Well, I'm accumulating some ideas for projects and I'll put them into a proper list and I'll also just share that as well. Has anybody got any questions of our panel? Andrew, you have a question.
Yeah, yes, I'd like. I know. I know he said that Phil said he was going to do a deeper dive in his session about the DTM project, but it's kind of shrouded in mystery. It's this little blurb in Pathways that says DTM project. What is it, and what can it be? Anything you want, or is it something that's given to you and said this is what you're doing, or how does that work out?
I'm just going to share my screen. This is obviously the basic criteria for which I'm sure most of you know already. And then, so that's the club officer and the club success plan, taking part in that. I think somebody also mentioned that they hadn't taken part in the club success plan. So that is quite a thing to actively take part in it. I'm not quite sure to what degree, but that you will be able to discuss with the club success plan, whoever's running it. And the district-sponsored club officer training. So there again, then as a district leader, club mentor or coach, which we have got our experts on, and then the speechcraft or youth leadership, and then the DTM project. You see, Andrew, it will miraculously appear once you have completed level 3 of your second pathway. Have you completed level 3 yet?
I don't think it miraculously appears. I recall I had to request it was added.
Yeah, actually, it says here, it says to receive this project. They don't make it very easy, do they?
You got to really want it.
So it
Yep.
seems.
They make you want it.
Yes. So there you have it. So you have to have completed the level 3 in a second project and beg Toastmasters International to add it to your pathways. So, right. So that's what I've picked up from the links, which it tells you about it, Andrew. So hopefully that will.
But it's of your own design. It's not something they say, this is what your project is.
You're on
Yes,
mute. Yeah.
I really think it's something that you choose yourself. They are not going to tell you what to do. They're not going to give you any hint at all. But if you work with your district director and trio, they might well have projects that they would want someone to do. So effectively, you could come up with a very useful project for the district that you feel that you're capable of doing. The project usually takes quite a long time to get together. I'm looking at my second DTM project, and I'm writing what I'm calling a leadership primer for Toastmasters. And I've got 100 pages of it written so far. It may well become a book, and if it is, then it will be published, self-published as a book. So there are so many different projects out there that are needed. If you have a financial bent, look at perhaps the way in which different districts spend their money. Compare one district against another. I'm fortunate in that I belong to two clubs in North Carolina, but my London club is actually London Cardinals, which is why I'm on this meeting.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So you will probably all know Paul Walsh, who is
Yes.
the other DTM in the club.
Yes. And he's our current chief judge. Yes. Thank you very much, Martin. I'll catch up with you on the YLP project as well later. But yes, I did want to say that I have collated some information from those who've completed their DTM, which I will share. It gives an overview of some of the projects they did. I said, please, can you share the projects you did to help our up-and-coming DTMers know what they can do? And as Martin said, approach the DLT. As Casper said, he's got openings for club mentors. They will have openings for club coaches, especially in this environment when clubs are battling. That's when we put the club coach in. I believe it's a little bit more involved now. Elaine, can you elaborate a bit on needing the training for the club coach role?
Yeah, so there is so for the club coach role there is kind of a process now. So there is some training that the club coach needs to do as well as the club president. And that's really making sure you're both aligned on exactly what the role is and what you want the role to do to support the club. So there's a little bit more structure there. But again, I think the club coach role it's important as well because you submit your reports. So it's not only sort of I'll be there for 6 months and kind of get them to distinguished status and that's got kind of job done. It's actually really sitting down with the club presidents and actually saying, where are your pain points? What are they? What do we want to do? And really planning that out and showing the plan and exactly what you're going to do as well as what, the club's going to do, because it's that coaching role as opposed to you can't just step in, and run the contest for them and things like that, or membership program. So it's helping them work out what their pain point is, why they're struggling, and then helping them to achieve their goals, and then tracking that on a regular basis, submitting that in to the district to show that you've done that, and then at the very end, there's a completion criteria where the president has to confirm that it's been completed. But I think the key there is, in fact, it's a journey for both coach and club president, which I thought was really good when you do the joint training at the end and you kind of do that at the end. You kind of, the president hopefully feels they're more equipped, them and their committee are more equipped to understand what they need to do to then maintain that status as well going forward.
And it's quite structured. I like that about it. It's quite structured. You know what you've got to do, and that is your requirement for the president of the club that you are coaching as well. Yes, I like that. Another project, we had a member and he started a new club. So club sponsors, always, our club growth director is always calling out for members who would like to start a new club. Nick Bailey, he started Burnham Speakers. In fact, I went along to the inaugural meeting there, the open house. So I remember that. And that was five years ago. And it's still going strong. He's got 27 members. And it's in an area where there are other clubs, but it was just a particular niche area. So a club sponsor, and we've actually got a drop-in session on club sponsoring at the end of February, details on our website. So if you are interested in doing club sponsor as one of your requirements, then let us know and or pick up the details for that drop-in session. As I said earlier, one person volunteered to be the logistics chair for the spring conference. So that's not as big as being the conference director, but I do know those who have done the conference director as their DTM project, which I believe is huge, but it could obviously be broken down into parts of that because it is a big event. The YLP project, rewriting that, Martin, yes, I agree with you. Have you done do you do the YLP in schools?
So I was the chair of YLP for District 117. And when I bought the books and the course for the students, I had great expense from TI because their postal service is absolutely appalling. I found that the first 3 pages talked about the chairman. Who is the chairman in Toastmasters? If anyone can tell me, I will rip those pages out, but it needs to be rewritten. It is so poor in its presentation. There's so much more that we can put into it. As the chair of YLP, I managed to arrange that we had coordinators who did 14 individual YLPs in a year. And of those 14, 10 of them went on to get DTM. And that's the sort of thing that you need to set up in a district so that you've got this almost rolling group of people who are supporting DTM. We now have an organization, a forum called Next Steps, which is made up of those of us who've got DTMs and those of us who are looking to do either another DTM. And we can form an advisory committee so that you've always got a background that people can use and have feedback from. And that is, of course, absolutely essential. The one point that I've picked up here with regard to the club success plan, if your signed name is not on the club success plan, you will not get a DTM. So go into Club Central, look at the club success plan, write a few action points, sign it off, and you are part of that committee. I hope that helps.
Yeah, that's a very good tip, isn't it? Because you don't want to do all that work and not get the recognition for it, to be honest. There's very good advice there. Thank you, Martin. I like the idea of your advisory committee. I mean, that in itself, again, is a DTM project, isn't it? To set that up. So if anybody would like to do something like that. I had somebody else who said they worked on the DCP program. I need to follow this back up with him because he said quite often working towards the DCP points is left to chance by clubs. So he adopted a proper strategy for doing that, and it's working. And he's a corporate club member. So I've asked him for more information on that. And then our previous parliamentarian, Rose, she organized parliamentary PP training sessions for the DEC. So she would organize training sessions so that the DEC members would be more familiar with parliamentary procedure. And she said she did the condensed version of the Roberts Rules. So that's another thing for people who are interested in learning more about the parliamentary procedures behind the meetings and events. And that's what she did. I've also heard of people going outside of Toastmasters because it does not have to be a Toastmasters related project. So if you see something in your community, I think I read somewhere somebody had done something about a mother and baby group. I'm not quite sure what it was, but if you're doing something like that, you would have to get it signed off and to get, obviously, you have your meeting group and you'd have your meetings and your projects and your timeline. But that's something else to consider. How can you support your local community and use a project which would warrant being included as part of the DTM? So that is another suggestion. Have we any more suggestions from the floor? I think possibly the easiest one to tick off as you're going is the requirement for the Speechcraft or YLP and the mentor or club coach. So those of you working on your DTM, have you actually ticked off one of those or are you looking to? Because Casper is all ears for mentors. And I know we would like some club coaches.
And on that, when I reflect on my own DTM journey, which isn't at the end yet, I think I wish I'd started getting involved in being a club coach or a club mentor sooner, because not every club is one that you can attend and get to. And if I put myself in the pool for that sooner, I would have had an easier time. I think now I'm trying to rush everything and get it all finished off before I have a baby any day now. And and also the club that I'm a mentor for, I book a Wednesday afternoon off work once a month to be able to go along to and attend there as a mentor for a corporate club. And perhaps in the years when I was just doing speeches, if I put my hat in the ring for that, I would have had an easier time of going, oh yeah, I can make the club on a Thursday evening, for example.
Yeah.
Getting involved there. So that would be something I'd recommend if you do have the time available, getting involved as a club coach or a club mentor. I'm speaking to myself or Simon McKee or Lynn, I'm sure you all know.
Yes.
I would
Yes.
recommend.
I'll put the details in. I'll send around the recording of this just as a memoir, and I'll also put in the links for mentor speechcraft, etc. Emmanuel, our speechcraft champion, you've raised your hand.
There is a lot of scope also in using tech nowadays to onboard members or onboard new members. That's a project in itself. There's so many clubs that are still stuck in just using pay into the bank, the old way. And then you have other things that you can use. You've got SumUp, you've got links, you've got QR codes. I mean, that's in a project in itself. I think if somebody took it up and just said, let me just educate an area, instead of a division which is so big, just an area, and just take it up from there. But also in speechcraft, there's a lot of stuff you can reinvent and and try and just improve on the whole thing. I looked at aftercare for my project, and that's where I came up with what I thought were new ideas. So yeah, there is a lot you could use.
When you said you looked at aftercare, what was that in relation to?
So the Speechcraft portal remains open for 90 days after you've delivered Speechcraft.
Oh, right. Okay.
And typically what most clubs were doing was just after the end of Speechcraft, after they've convinced people to transition to members, then they forgot about those who just disappeared in the woodwork, so were out there thinking about it. But then the channels that you'll have established to communicate to the participants are still live. So celebrate your club achievements, celebrate the achievements of the people everyone in your club, including the new members, and keep on creating FOMO on those channels. And slowly but surely you'll get most of those who came for Speechcraft coming up and saying, hey, remember me? I was on the course maybe 2 months ago or whatever. I want to join now. I've seen what is possible. And that if you keep the traffic of communication on those forums going, you normally get the participants transitioning to members, however long they stay out.
Wow. You do a lot of speechcraft at your club, don't you?
Once a year, every January.
Once a year. Gosh, yeah. I've never run one at either of my clubs. I haven't really thought about it, to be honest, running it for the clubs. I need to speak to you, Emmanuel. So thank you for that. They're very good ideas. Andrew, you have your hand raised. And you're on mute, by the way.
Of course. Of course I am. My question was, it said in the slide you showed, you can be a club coach or a club mentor. You have your choice. Can you speak to the difference of those two? What the difference in a role that is?
So my understanding from doing both, a club coach is assigned to a club when a club is at a point where it's felt they need some help, and they can be at any stage of their existence and establishment, and the coach is really there to help them rebuild and recover to a good position, and it usually is a club that's been in a good position. then a mentor, and as I say, this is based on my personal experience, so it may not, Casper, you're going to have to correct me if it's not correct, but I did a club mentor role for a newly chartered club, and therefore you go in at the beginning to help them kind of build their club. So it's not building it back up; it's building it from the beginning. So the two difference tends to be is club coach is going into a mature club, for want of a better word, and helping it recover back to a good position. And a mentor goes in at the early stage of a new club to help it keep the momentum going and understand what it needs to do to continue to achieve to be a club in good standing within their first year. I don't know, Casper, if my understanding is totally correct.
I would say it was totally correct. Yeah, the way it was explained to me, mentors deal with new clubs, coaches deal with struggling clubs, and I think where you're going to find yourself most useful perhaps depends on your own personality and how you find you can get on with people. I expect as a club coach, because I did a little bit of this when I was an area director last year, you have to be a bit sterner. You're dealing with people who maybe feel that their way is the right way of doing things, and we know it's not because the club is struggling, and you have to fight against that. Whereas as a club mentor, I've found the people I'm working with in the club that I mentor are really keen. They're really excited. Toastmasters is new. It's fresh. Wow, what do we do now? Look, Casper knows everything. How long have you been doing this for? And
they need the direction, don't they?
They need the direction. They're really keen to get it. They're ecstatic that somebody's willing to go along and mentor them. Whereas I found whilst I was doing some of the more coach-like duties as an area director, not everybody was pleased with the recommendations being made.
No. So they do work hand in hand. I did a mentor where for my DTM, I mentored a new club, Godalming Speakers. And during their DTM, they were setting up as club sponsors. And then I came in to do the mentoring, which is supporting them for the first 6 months. You've got to do the first 6 months and get that actually signed off officially. So, Martin, you had your hand up beforehand. Did you want to?
Yes, just to say that there are a few caveats that need to be pointed out. For instance, a club coach is appointed by the club growth director, that's number 3 in the trio, and it's a formal interview. You have to go through training, as does the club president and the club VPE. Trying to get them on board to do training can be very difficult indeed. You've got to spend a year with the club as the club coach, and at the end of it, they have to get to distinguished status, or you and the club get no recognition whatsoever. Okay. I've also just recently spent 18 months as a mentor with a prospective club that was due to charter. After 18 months, they haven't chartered. And so that's 18 months of my time almost completely wasted because they didn't go forward. And sometimes you need a little bit more than what Casper was saying. You need a little bit more than energy.
Yes, you need to be a bit stricter. Good
This
point,
was a
Martin.
corporate club. This was a corporate club that had 3,000 cars in the car park, and they couldn't get 20 members. Something is terribly wrong.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for that, Martin. Claire, you have your hand up.
I was just going to relay something that might be of interest. When we started a speaker, Headingley Speakers Club near Leeds, the lovely Jane Craggs, who had already got her DTM, said, who would like to start this club? We need two sponsors and 2 mentors. And we worked together, all 4 of us, with Jane's leadership, to get Headingley Speakers up and running. The sponsors are there for the 6 months or however long it takes to get the club up and running. And once it's chartered, you then have 6 months as mentor. Yes. So we did it between us. So it might be something that if there's people aspiring to do it, they might want to get together And you can have those 4 people involved in doing the sponsorship and then the mentoring, just an idea.
Yes. Yeah, that's what we did with Godly Speaker. There were 4 of us and we worked on it together for each of our DTMs. Yes. George, you have a question?
Thanks, Janet. Yeah. I just wanted to say that I didn't really plan to work for a DTM. It was only like 2.5, 3 years ago, I was asked if I would be club coach to a club, to one of my local clubs. And so I decided that, yeah, I'd do that. And then we all know Barbara Saff, or a lot of you do, but she said to me, well, you could go for your DTM if you're going to do that. So then I looked into it, and I mean, I've completed 2, nearly 3 pathways. I've been president of Hammock Speakers twice, and I've been treasurer for 5 years. So and so I thought, well, if I become a club coach, that's another step towards being a DTM. I may as well go for it. But it happened during a very stressful period of my life, and I was very stressed and very busy that year. And I helped the club get from 3 members to 20 members.
Wow.
But I wasn't aware that the VPE and the president of the club also needed to be trained. I went through some training, but the problem was because it was such a stressful time of my life. Things were going on that were causing problems for me. I did the first 3 reports, and I didn't do any more after that. I got no feedback at all from the 3 reports anyway. And of course, because I was stressed out, I told myself I didn't want to do a DTM anyway. But having got them to 20 members and not getting credited at all for being the club coach, I was pretty annoyed, and I did pretty much abandon the idea of being a DTM. But so I mean, what was just being said is very important. You have to fulfill the requirement properly, otherwise you just don't get credited for it.
Yeah. But you're here now, George, and it is back on your horizon, I hope.
Yeah.
Yes, well, we can support you.
I've completed a lot of the steps, so
Yes.
I'm in the project, and
Exactly.
it just peeves me that I've got to go back and be a club coach again.
You can do this, George. You can do it. Emmanuel.
Thanks.
One thing that I found very helpful with my situation, because I'm also a massive procrastinator, is get more than 1 mentor specifically for your DTM project. And when you're getting mentors, get someone who call out your BS.
Yeah.
For this. They need to be very stern with you and just call you out.
Yeah.
And I had those people. I was fortunate I had those people around me.
Yes.
And every so often I'd hide and
no hiding
phone calls,
from
I
the
get
mentor.
emails, messages. So yeah, mentor does help. And I'm sorry, George, you went through that. Still, with every role that you get, especially long-term roles with people who are going to really test your patience, as a club coach as well, again, get personal mentors who are going to hold your hands during the rough times.
Yes. Because, of course, in District 91, we are doing a mentor buddy program. When I send out the recording, I'll just send you the link to that mentor buddy program where you can actually apply to be a mentor or to be a mentee. And I see we've actually come to 8 o'clock, but I haven't actually asked Emmanuel to quickly give the criteria for the Speechcraft project. And I will quickly give the criteria for the YLP, just so that you know what's involved.
So Speechcraft is basically something that you'll have decided to do as a club committee. Go to your members and say to them, hey, we are planning to do this. Are you signing us off for that? Because you will need at least 4 sessions, which is if you meet once a week, that's a whole month gone. So as soon as the club signs that off, the membership signs that off, then you either advertise or choose somebody through your VPE who will know everybody's background, how they are proceeding with the education. You choose a coordinator, a speechcraft coordinator or two, depending on how many people you want. And then you buy a bundle. Each speechcraft coordinator has got access to one bundle, which is 5 individuals, participants. So that bundle arrives in their name. And then you start drafting the agendas. Again, it's best to bring in the VPE when you're drafting these agendas. And then from there on, do the marketing. I advise that every member on the club committee takes a role that reflects their competence. For example, treasurer does their job as a treasurer to determine how much you charge for each participant. The reason is, in the long run, these people are the people you're going to come back to help you onboarding, but also it secures succession going forward within the club.
All right.
And then you deliver.
I think also I'll send out the clip to the recording from that session because it is quite involved, isn't it? And that will be useful.
It is.
Yes.
It's a full-on thing.
Yeah, no, but it's totally valuable.
Yeah.
And just very briefly, because I know we're on 8 o'clock, just after, for the youth leadership program, that requires contacting a local school, community center, youth group, scout group, and offering to run an 8-week session of basically Toastmasters evenings, well, events. I do it at the school's lunchtime or after school. The pupils run it. They have the chairperson, we have the timekeeper, we have the topics master, and each session we do a speech craft, and then each session, very much like a normal Toastmasters meeting, we'll have 3 speeches, 3 evaluations, and a topic session. And that is essentially what it is, and the pupils do it, and at the end of it, they do a special presentation event to their teachers and their peers, and they will showcase one of their sessions. It's tremendously rewarding. It's not always easy to get Toastmasters members to support you because it's often during the school day, and there again, it's during working times. I link up with my local Rotary group because I've got people who are basically retired and very happy to do something, especially if you tap into the Rotary Youth Group Committee. And I've got a team of those, and they will come and help support me. This is 2 of us each time. But there again, I've rewritten the manuals. I was going to have a chat with Martin about this because, yes, they were not very easy to use. Kids don't like manuals. You won't get them to take home brochures or program manuals because they'll forget it. So I have this online. I just print out the agenda for them and they take it over. So that's the Youth Leadership Program in a nutshell. So we do have to wrap up now. I am sorry we just got quite up to the close. Do we have any more questions? I've got time to stay on if anybody would like to, but if you have to run off, please feel free. But if you've got questions, but before we just sign off, I'll say thank you very much indeed for my panel, to Elaine, to Emmanuel, to Massimo, Emmanuel, and Casper. Is Casper gone? There's Casper. Thank you very much. Thank you all very much indeed. If I can put your details on the email I send out, then anybody can contact any one of us for a little bit of follow-up detail on what we did and what we can advise. Has that been helpful?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing actually, even though you see me as someone organized that's done lots of roles, actually is having an accountability buddy to keep you on target, because I don't have a mentor at the moment that I'm working with, and it's just very easy to kind of slip behind. And although I do slip into lots of roles, I've been doing a mentoring role, so I am active in doing leadership roles. You know, I've done district admin, I've done VPA, I've done president, I've done coach, I've done mentor, I've done all this stuff. But actually, when I first set out, I wanted to be a regional director. Because I've lost my job and I've spent a lot of time out of work, and family all over the place now in different countries, and it's actually been quite a challenging time. So whilst I still go to my club, I've completely lost sight of a DTM or anything that I'm doing. And it really just, if someone were to nudge me and say, Ruth, what's your next speech? When have you got that booked in? You know,
Okay.
that I think that would help. So actually, the fact that you were suggesting that I took that project on, very often that's what it's like in Toastmasters, isn't it? You want something, so set it up for other people. And usually you
Exactly.
get it back. So maybe it's not such a bad suggestion in the first.
Well, just let us sit with that for a little bit, Ruth. And
I will
yeah,
sit with it for a little bit. And one thing that was left out from the club coach was the fact that it was a club with fewer than 12
Yeah.
members.
yeah.
That little detail was missed out. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you all so
Well,
much for your contributions. Eddie, were you going to say something? You went off mute.
No, I just wanted to thank you for the session. It's been useful, and like what Ruth and the others hinted, you just need a nudge to get going.
Yes. Yes. That's all we need. We're all the same. Everything else can take its place. We'll do so much for everybody else but ourselves.
Yep.
So with that, put yourselves first. And I look forward to seeing more DTMs coming along. And let me know if you do want to set up in a group, and we can even set up WhatsApp group just for the nudges, and we can take that further. Then I can hand over to Ruth to run it. Just kidding, Ruth. Anyway, thank you all so much, and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening. Thank you for joining us.
it's fine,
Thank you.
but actually the concept is a really good concept that I support.
Bye.
So thank you.